Okay, shalom. Right, we're going to be looking at this incredible verse. This today is the first day, is the first fruits offering after the weekly Shabbat of Pesach. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the midst of the field, and behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves encircled it and prostrated themselves to my sheaf. This is taken from Genesis 37:7. We are all part of the resurrected, risen up sheaf of Yeshua HaMashiach. That is the first fruits of the resurrection of the dead, which is today the first counting of the Omer. So the gematria, notice to make sure that we know it's talking about Moshiach. The gematria here, the numerical values of each of the letters, and behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright, is 888. That's a regular gematria. It's also got an ordinal gematria of 186. And together they come to 1074. Very, very powerfully significant numbers. First of all, the 888 is the spelling out of the Messiah, HaMoshiach. Each letter as it sounds, as it's pronounced. He, he, mem, mem, shin, yod, chet. He for ha, mem for me of Moshiach, shin for Moshi, yod, chet. Moshiach, the Messiah. It comes to 888. Also in the Greek, Yeshua HaMashiach in the Greek comes to 888. Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, comes to 888 written in the Greek. We also have, I think is it Jesus Christos? In the Greek it would be that. Also comes to 888, but in the Hebrew the Mashiach comes to 888 when it's spelt out in full. The name of Yotewawhe, Yahweh, the square ordinal of each letter is, so the first is Yod, it's the 10th letter in the alphabet, so 10 times 10. The He, the next letter, is the 5th letter in the alphabet, that's 5 times 5. The Vav is the 6th letter, 6 times 6. And the He is the 5th letter, 5 times 5. So the full inclusion of the holy name comes to 186. Exactly the same as the ordinal numbering of, and behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. You see, his sheaf arose only to reveal the power and authority of the name of Yotewaweh, nothing else beside him. He is in the Father, and we are in him who is in the Father, and that's Yahuwah. Also, the 1074, when we add those two numbers together, the Son and the Father, this is the role of Mashiach ben David. He says, you will not see me again until you say, Baruch haba b'shem Yehovah. Blessed is he who comes in the name of Yehovah. So we've not got to just have the Mashiach, but the one who comes in the name of Yehovah. And that comes to Mashiach ben David, what's called the Mispah Gadol numbering of Mashiach ben David. The Mispah Gadol numbering is when we take into account of what's called Sophite letters. Some of the letters change when they're on the end of the word, and they have a much bigger number, what's called a Mispah Gadol, a big numbering, because they're on the end of a word. So the word Ben has got a nun, which is a Mispah Gadol, and instead of it being worth 50, it's worth 700. So we get the number 1074 when it's its biggest number. Mispah Gadol numbering 1074, exactly the same as those two added together. Mashiach will not come again until you take the concept of the Mashiach and fully include it and add it to the Father, Yotewaweh, as one. Okay, 1074. If we take the regular numbering of Mashiach ben David, which is 424, and add it to the Mispah Gadol numbering, it comes to 1498, which is 2 times 749. 749 is Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeshua the Mashiach. Okay? 1074 is also Davar Emeth, the square ordinal. Again, each letter multiplied by itself, each letter, the square ordinal, the order with which it is in the alphabet, multiplied by itself. So the square ordinal of davar emeth, word of truth, is 1074. We want to reveal Mashiach. We want to reveal the sheaf that arose and stood upright. There is a unity between the Mashiach and the name of Yahweh. We need the word of truth, davar emeth. Zipporah, who was Moshe's wife, has also got a square ordinal of 1074. She's very important because we're living in times now where the whole concept of Mashiach is as if he's covered in a foreskin. And Moshe had to circumcise her own son on the way because she recognised that the Mashiach, Moshe at the time, was about to die. And she quickly circumcised her own son with a flint knife. And this prevented Moses from dying, Moshe from dying. There's a very big significance in that. We've got to get to the place where through our understanding we're recognising what regarding the concept of Mashiach is holy and what is falsehood. There's so much falsehood about, and we've got to circumcise the concept of the Mashiach and get rid of all the filthy lies that have obscured the truth, that have had people adopt pagan worship and an un-Hebraic understanding of the Mashiach that is totally widowed and orphaned from the true Torah of Moshe. And we've got to circumcise our understanding. We've got to circumcise our lips. We've got to circumcise our heart. We've got to circumcise our experience of life in Mashiach. We've got to circumcise even our anatomy. And Zipporah is somebody who is written the Torah to help us to understand there's a certain urgency to that. There's a certain urgency to that. When Mashiach is covered in all these lies and falsehood and delusion, we're giving power to the angel of death, and we've got to do what we can to separate truth from lie and filth from what is pure. So that's Zipporah there. We've also got this concept of the Prince of the World. The concept of the Prince of the World, this might be quite complicated for some people to understand, but is likened to the rod of Elohim that was in the hand of Moshe. So when you are in the dominion of angelic forces, when you do not come under the full protection of the holy name, when you're not face to face with the holy name of Yod-Heh-Wah as revealed to us through Yeshua, you can end up in the realm of the Prince of the World. The Prince of the World is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, so you've got good and you've got evil. You've got the rod of Elohim that guides you along the way. When you're behaving yourself, this is like the Michael aspect of it. But when you turn and don't obey exactly what you asked to do, you get the rod of Elohim turns into a serpent, and you get bitten very, very hard. And that aspect is Samael. If you add the square ordinal of Samael and Michael together, you get 1074. This is the evil, unholy opposite, almost if you like the false Messiah. This is the false Messiah. We need to defeat this force, this Prince of the World, with the truth. The truth has revealed with the unity, instead of a unity between Satan and Michael, the adversary and the advocate, we want the true unity of the Father and the Son. The Mashiach and Yod-Heh-Wah, the Mashiach of Yod-Heh-Wah, and this is going to reveal the word of truth and Zipporah and Mashiach ben Dawid. But we've always got a battle. We've got a battle that we have to face, and the biggest battle that we have to face is against the Prince of the World and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You got to get to a place where we're face to face with Yotewaweh and the full only goodness of his holy name and the truth of what he has accomplished, and especially the power that he has been under the guardian of his name, his holy presence and his name, to forgive our sins, to forgive our transgressions, and even to forgive our willful sins. This is the place where we need to be. The prince of the world has absolutely no capacity to forgive. He guards us along the way until we attain a status of Mashiach, and until we are emulating the holy attributes of the name of Yotewaweh. We've got to raise ourselves up to defeat this prince of this world, the influence of the prince of the world, and get back into the presence of Yotewaweh through Yeshua HaMashiach. So there's a lot in there. My sheaf arose. Today we have got that potential to return through the power of the risen Mashiach to the place where we are supposed to be, and empowered to be the name of Yotewaweh on this earth as it is in heaven, through the power of Yeshua HaMashiach, who is the first fruits of the resurrection of the dead. And with that I will say, Shalom.